Welcome back to my channel. I'm James. Today I've got a very exciting advanced review that we're going to be deep diving into. The Twilight Saga 15th Anniversary 4K Ultra HD Collection and Duel on 4K Ultra HD. Now both of these were sent to me a full week early for review directly from Universal Studios and Lionsgate Home Entertainment. So big shout out and thank you to them for sending these to me early for review. But as always, just because something's sent to me for review, it never affects or changes my testing data or my review scores. But I can tell you both of these releases are releases I was looking forward to. I will tell you I am a fan of Twilight for a specific reason, and I'll share a story about that actually kind of tied to why I like the series later on in the video when I get to the full review. But today I'm going to be doing my exclusive 4K versus Blu Ray image comparisons of both of these 4K releases. That's where I pull the native data off of each of the discs, show them up above side by side next to the original Blu Ray releases to show you how they actually compare. I wrap it up at the end with my review score and sum up total quality of these box sets to let you know if these are something you should actually buy and add to your collection. So we've got a lot of exciting information to dive into today to cover on these two really exciting upcoming 4K releases. Now to start off with here, I'm going to show you the original Blu Ray release of Duel. Now on this previous Blu Ray release, this had a slightly incorrect color grading where it had a more orangey brownish overlay over all the colors throughout the film, giving it kind of a tint and hue of an orangey brownish tint. All skin tones and everything throughout it had that overlay on it. It was a decent Blu Ray release, but it did have some issues with blocking, there was some slight banding, and it did have issues with the film grain really bad where it had bad fluctuations that combined with some of the blocking and digital noise to produce a very uneven watching experience. Now, for this new 4K Ultra HD release, it did get a 4K restoration of the original camera negatives to produce this native 4K 2160p image. I can tell you it has both Dolby Vision and HDR10 on it. To tell you a little bit about the film just here for a second, Steven Spielberg originally did some TV episodes like on Columbo. This was his first official theatrically released film. So there is a TV version of it as well, which is in a poorer state, but the actual theatrical version, which is the one I prefer, is what's got the 4K restoration on this 4K Ultra HD release. And I can tell you some good news for this film when it came out originally in 1971, it did not have that orangish brownish overlay. It's gone on this. This has a more natural color grading because they did a brand new color grading and master with the Dolby Vision and HDR10. Makes a big difference. You'll notice that orangey brownish overlay is gone, skin tones are natural, all of the colors throughout appear more natural without that overlay, and it does look quite a bit better just because of that. Now, if you follow me here for a while on my channel, you'll know that I love Steven Spielberg. This is one of those films that kind of reminds me of a Hitchcockian type thriller. It's one of those done in a more confined space. Basically, the trucker and Dennis Weaver's character driving his car, the businessman, that basically they're dueling on the road, and there's numerous things that keeps escalating more and more. It's done very well. And it really shows off Steven Spielberg's talent at a younger age when he first started releasing theatrical films. And I do enjoy it. I can tell you though, compared to that previous Blu Ray release, they did fix all of the issues with the film grain. So like I was explaining at the beginning about the issues with the previous Blu Ray's film grain, this doesn't have any of those issues with the instabilities in the film grain. It doesn't have any of those issues with the fluctuations or where it has any of the blocking where you see the film grain and digital noise clumping together to create big blocks of film grain. That is all gone on this. It is a very nice and stable film grain presentation, though the film grain is very present because it is a film from 1971, so you do see it from beginning to end. They did not DNR or use the program Neat to take it away, thankfully. Unlike some of the recent reviews I've had to share with all of you about some bad news, this one does have the film grain, and it is a very filmic presentation the way it should look for a film from 1971. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to go down there, give this video a like and a thumbs up for me, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you never miss out on any of these early or exclusive reviews that I do here on my YouTube channel. Now, as I was saying, I did get this in a full week early for review. I will put that direct Amazon pre-order sale link right down below as a pinned comment in the comment section right below this video. If after watching my review here and hearing my review score, you do decide you want to pre-order or buy this, I'll put that direct Amazon sale link right below. Those do make a difference in the continued creation of these exclusive videos. So make sure if you're going to buy or pre-order anything I ever review, always use those direct Amazon sale links right down there below. They are very important and never cost you a penny extra to help support this channel. So make sure to always click on those Amazon sale links right down there below. Now, touching on the 4K image just for a minute, it does have nice depth and detail in it that was missing on the previous Blu-ray because of all those issues with the instabilities, the blocking, and the combination of the digital noise took away from a lot of the depth and details you could appear on that previous Blu-ray, so it lacked that you couldn't quite see as much. This does have drastically increased depth and detail. That does add a new layer to this, and I will say, it was surprising some of the things I noticed on this, just on clothing and his hair and things like that, his mustache especially. You can see so much more depth and detail on this 4K that it really did make the Blu-ray look pretty poor when you compare them side by side, as you're noticing in those native images up above. Now, I can tell you we got another nice treat on this new 4K release. We do get an English Dolby Atmos mix, and that's a brand new mix. I can tell you on the previous Blu-ray release, it only had a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 and 2.0, but it did not have any Dolby Atmos whatsoever. I can tell you they implemented it very nice on this. With the restoration, the audio mix on this is much cleaner, much clearer, has much better range, and I was actually kind of surprised. There was little things that brought a little smile across my face as I'm watching it, because the Dolby Atmos mix was implemented pretty darn nicely. I will say you'll sit back and enjoy it. It's not going to be one of those that you're going to say is the strongest Dolby Atmos mix you've ever heard, but for a film from 1971, I was really surprised at the little touches they did and how good of a job they really implemented that Dolby Atmos, that it really was one of those that it did pull me into the film more than it ever had previously before. It's great to see the work that Universal did for this, putting in the extra time to provide a Dolby Atmos mix that those of us that have nice reference home Dolby Atmos setups, and if you want to know about mine, you can always check out how to get a reference Dolby Atmos DTS:X home cinema. I did a complete review on quite a few different setups that I own and give you the best quality one and the best bang for your buck. And I can tell you there's a lot of interesting information I share in that video, but I love my Dolby Atmos home setup. On my home cinema, this sounds pretty darn nice. And I will say there was little things where it used a little bit of the height channels, moved things around really well, and you'll hear things overhead that I really didn't expect. And that's where I said, it kind of just brings a smile out and you say to yourself, man, it's kind of cool they took the time to add that little extra perk in here that I really wasn't expecting. And I can tell you on the Dolby Atmos, like I was mentioning just a little bit, it is cleaner and clearer sounding. But here's the nice thing. Some of the little hisses, and there was some audio, I don't know if I'd call them delays, but they were just slight, where I would notice just him go to speak or a sound effect, it would be just slightly off. That's been fixed on this as well. There's none of those that appeared that when I was watching it throughout the entire film, I didn't ever catch myself thinking, man, like I did with the Blu-ray, there was a slight delay almost in some of the sound effects. There wasn't any on this. They did a very nice job on the audio implementation. Now, showing what you get inside of this, you do get your 4K Ultra HD disc that is 100% region free, and you get your original Blu-ray disc behind it. That is the original Blu-ray transfer. So, to be honest with you, you won't watch that Blu-ray release because the 4K release is so much better looking and sounding that it really does simply blow the previous Blu-ray out of the water. Now, this is one of those thrillers from 1971. If you want another great 70s film, Invasion of the Body Snatchers is one of those that I previously reviewed here on this channel. If you have not checked out that sci-fi thriller, it is a very slick and enjoyable sci-fi thriller. And I feel like in the 70s, they had some really good practical effect, just thrillers that came out in that time period. This one and Invasion of the Body Snatchers are both great films that you really need to check out. If you haven't checked out that review, it's available right now here on this channel. I did that a while back, and you can check that out after you get done watching this video. Now, I dived in and tested the rough average bitrate. I can tell you this had a high and very healthy rough average bitrate of 68 megabits per second. It was very nice. It lended to why it had such a stable image throughout it. And it was one of those things that was a very healthy and very worthwhile improvement over the previous Blu-ray release. Now, getting to my review score, for Duel on 4K Ultra HD, this gets a superb 9.3. This is a must buy. You need to buy and add to your collection. Thankfully, Universal was in control of this one. Unlike what happened with American Graffiti, which is a travesty, they didn't have control over that. This one they did. Thankfully, this is a very nice and very strong improvement over the previous Blu Ray, retaining the natural film grain and presenting a very filmic and good looking restoration the way it should be done, with proper color grading, getting rid of the orangey overlay that basically was done incorrectly on the previous Blu Ray, presenting this with natural skin tones and natural colors. This is a superb job by Universal for Steven Spielberg's first theatrical film. I liked this release, and it is a must buy. You need to buy and add to your collection. Now, I did put that direct Amazon sale link right down there below. Now, this video should be out about a week before the release date. You can pre-order it right through that Amazon sale link below, or if you're watching this after the release date, that Amazon sale link is on sale for the same price as everywhere. So make sure if you're gonna buy this, use that direct link I posted right down there below. Let me know if you've seen Duel. Let me know if you enjoyed the film and you like that it's a more smaller, condensed thriller and you like the pace of it. I do. I think it's a very organic feeling film where you just kind of feel like you're sitting there with him in his car and you just feel like it's something you could imagine happening to yourself. I do enjoy that aspect of it, and I do think the smaller budget works for the film. And if you're asking about the theatrical film versus the TV version, I do not like the TV version. It is included in here as kind of an HD upscale, but I will tell you I do not like the TV version because it extends certain aspects of it that kind of add in characters that makes it feel not as a condensed story, and kind of expanded things that kind of made the pace seem too long. The theatrical cut is the best cut of this film. It keeps it going along, the pace moves very slick, and I just was never a fan of the TV version. The stuff that was added should have stayed cut off, just like it was in the theatrical version. That is the version I prefer. That is the version that gets the 4K restoration, and that is what is so darn good looking on this 4K release. Next up, we have the Twilight Saga, the 15th anniversary 4K Ultra HD set. Now, I can tell you this is one of those film series that I do enjoy, and there's a specific reason and memory for that I'll share here in just a few minutes. But this film series only previously ever had the first film on 4K Ultra HD. Now, since I'm talking about the first 4K Ultra HD release, this disc is the same disc that's included in this box set for the first film. The only difference is, and I'll show that when I get to the unboxing, is the artwork has been changed on the disc itself. But the actual disc, bit rates, and everything like that is the exact same on this. So it does have the same Dolby Atmos mix that's very good on it, but they just changed the artwork on it. The rest of the films had not been previously released on 4K. Now, for all the films in this box set, they did get new Dolby Vision and HDR10 masters. And the 4K image that's presented on each of the films in this box set is very detailed, nicely stable, has a nice layer of film grain that's very light over it, and presents a very clear and clean picture that honestly, it surprised me how good all the rest of the films in this box set really did look. The first one in this box set is the least impressive of all the films throughout this. Each of the remaining films in this box set look really nice. They are a step up from the first 4K Ultra HD release. Now, in comparison to the previous Blu Ray releases, as you're seeing above in those comparisons, it is a very healthy improvement. That Dolby Vision and HDR10 implementation is done superbly in this set. Now, I can tell you between the Dolby Vision and the HDR10, HDR10 was the clear winner. It was an easy 8% better color tones. It just overall had slightly more vibrancy and pop to it without ever getting into the color bleed area. It just looked noticeably just a little better, and I will say that's the way I preferred to watch it. Now, HDR10 still blows away the previous Blu Ray releases, image and colors. The HDR10 implementation in Dolby Vision that they did for this really brings those brilliant whites and inky blacks to life without ever having black crush. And I'll tell you on this, it has some really great brilliance that come through on it that really do just surprise you how brilliant they come through with the darkness there. And the color tones throughout these films is very stylistic, and it's done on purpose for the type and style that we're going for with these films. And I'll tell you, it's kind of like this box art. There are some folks that complain about it. I actually like it. It kind of, to me, is its own comic book style almost. And for these films, it gives them like a look that is so different from any of the other films. And I like that the directors went in different directions to purvey these films in a way that it didn't just seem like another teen romance. The look of them is very unique unto its own. And I'll tell you a little story. The reason I like the Twilight films, my wife and I many years ago, actually back in 2008, when the first film came out, we were in Las Vegas. We actually went to the M&M factory, which there's a theater, or used to be a theater right next to it. And we decided, we had a dinner show later that night, and we said, let's just go to a movie before our dinner show. I think we were there on our anniversary, and we were having a little vacation together on our anniversary. So we decided to go, and we picked out Twilight. We'd never heard of it. We'd never seen it. We'd never read any of the books. We didn't even know much of anything about it. We just walked up to the theater, said, what's on here? They had that playing. It was in like 15 minutes, so we went to it. We walked out of there actually saying we had a fun time. We enjoyed the film. We enjoyed the music in it. We thought it was a good style, and it looked good. And we said to ourselves, hey, we actually really enjoyed it. We ended up going back later on for the next film when it came out. And then after that, we went to the next film when it came out. And each one we enjoyed. And we found ourselves not knowing anything about the book series or whether it was a teen series or young adult series. We just enjoyed the film series for what it was. No, I'm not going to say it's the best written films ever. And there is heavy drama, and I don't know how to explain it, but teen romance, and then later on adult romance. And it's very dramatic and over the top. Kind of reminds me of like a mixture of Donnie Darko with The Lost Boys, kind of all mixed together in kind of a more lighthearted vampire and werewolf film series. And maybe that's kind of an odd way to combine everything, but that's just kind of how I think it. The more somber tone of moping around, kind of like Donnie Darko was. And then you've got, like I said, the Lost Boys vampire, kind of like romantic vampire side of things. Which if you haven't checked out either of those reviews, I did do both of those here on this YouTube channel if you want to know the quality of those 4Ks. But I do enjoy it, and it is one of those things my wife really enjoys it. And to this day, we were really excited they finally announced and released this on 4K. Now, it does come out in about a week from now. I did get in early for a review, and it is one of those that she was excited for and I was excited to check out again because we haven't seen it since the first one came out on 4K, and we haven't watched the Blu Rays again since we originally got them way back when they each first came out. Though I will say the original Blu Ray releases were not absolutely amazing. We always felt like they had a softer image appearance, and because of the colors and the way they did it, where some of the colors are desaturated in certain scenes and then some of them are more brilliant with like greens and teals and kind of like earth tones and things like that, and it varies depending on the movie and the scene. I will say the original Blu-rays did not handle them the best. They were fine, and we did enjoy them at the time. But when you go back and watch them again in comparison to these new 4Ks with this brand new HDR10 and Dolby Vision Masters, man, the color grading and the colors on these are so nice compared to those previous Blu-rays that it really did make those Blu-rays just seem not that great at all once we sat down and started watching these 4Ks. Now, something we did encounter in each of the films, and it's just very, very brief, but like I explained, there is a very light layer of film grain. There is a few, I'd probably say maybe one, maybe two, very brief for maybe 5 seconds or so, in each film where you will encounter some brief digital noise. Most of the time it was in a scene transition that I noticed it. It didn't happen throughout the whole film, and it was so brief, but I always want to tell all of you about what to expect so you know what to expect getting into it. But in comparison to those previous Blu-rays, still blows away the image quality. Compared to those Blu-rays, these literally are a very surprising 4K release. Now, in this box set, we do get all 5 films. You also get some of the extended cuts of the films. Like on Breaking Dawn Part 1, you do get the extended version, which is unrated. That's included as well. So I did like that Lionsgate went the extra mile to include that so that you get that included in this box set as well. But the good news does not stop there. There was a massive treat that we got on these 4K releases. The first film has English Dolby Atmos mix on it. That was the one that was released previously. Here's the good news. Lionsgate did the extra work to include English Dolby Atmos mixes for every single one of the films in this box set. And I can tell you the Dolby Atmos mix is extremely impressive. It is immersive, it has amazing range and clarity, it uses the height channels surprisingly well. There are so many things that the height channels were used really well, and I will tell you all along with that, it has some great LFE. And for the Dolby Atmos implementation they did on this, it sucks you into the film and makes you feel like you're sitting in the middle of the film and it is going on all around you. And as I've explained before, that is what I look for in Dolby Atmos mixes. Does it take me into the film and make me feel like I'm sitting in the middle of it while all of the things are going on around me, background noises, overheads, behind me? And this does a great job with it. Very, very enjoyable Dolby Atmos mix for every single one of the films in this box set. Now, show you what you get in this. You get this new cover artwork. It is nicely metallic. On the side here, you obviously have all the films listed out: Twilight, Twilight New Moon, Twilight Eclipse, Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1, and Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2. On the back here, it obviously has Edward and his face. It's all shiny. And I wanted to show you this without the cases in it, just to show you they are thick cardboard that separates each and every one of the limited edition Steelbook cases to keep them from getting damaged. Lionsgate did a great job with this box set putting it together. I like that they put these thick cardboard instead of some of the smaller ones that I've gotten before, where basically the cases still rattle against each other. They don't touch. It goes all the way through the cardboard, so it protects every one of the Steelbooks in this case. Now, here's the first Steelbook. This is for the original Twilight film, the first one that started this. It is shiny metallic, and let me tell you, it is glossy as all get out. I do like the artwork they used on these, though as I said, it's a more somber experience on a lot of these artworks. So everyone's got their stony face stares, and kind of reminds me of daytime soap opera stares, you know, the whole like, you know. Anyhow, I do like the artwork on it. Says the title of the film on the side, again, shiny, very shiny metallic. And then on the back, it has a different artwork there. Now, when you get inside here, as I said, this is the original 4K transfer of the first film, but it does have new artwork on the disc, and it is very shiny as well, just like the outside of the Steelbooks. You get your Blu Ray and then your special features disc. And let me tell you, without going into every single special feature, literally any special feature you ever wanted for every one of these films is included in this box set. I could spend a whole day going through the massive amount of special features you get in this box set. Literally, Lionsgate went overboard, making sure to provide everything you could possibly ever want to know about each of these films. And I do like how they did this, where you have one over here and then two over here. And like I said, your special features disc is on the back with your 4K. Next up, we have New Moon. Again, I do like the artwork on this one. It says New Moon on the side. Shiny metallic. They are all shiny metallic. Now, inside here, you do get shiny discs again. Separate artwork that matches the outside of the case. And inside each Steelbook, it does have artwork behind the discs as well. Next up, we have Eclipse. Very nice. I like this one with the moon on it. And obviously, this one's got a more like bluish black color tone. And then inside, these are what you get for each of your discs as well. Breaking Dawn Part 1, this is where you start to get smiles on it, where they start to change the cover artwork. This one's more a pinkish red color, very shiny metallic. And then again, I did like how they used that shiny metallic behind it, that when you see it in person, it has like this shimmery, almost like glitter behind, right on top of the colors that gives it just a really metallic sheen that's like glitter. And then inside, these are your discs. Last one, Breaking Dawn Part 2. On the side again, it says the title, and then on the back it has the main characters. And then when you get inside, these are your final discs. And then when it's all put together, this is what it looks like in the box, as I said, with those big cardboard between it holding them apart. It is a very heavy collection. I will tell you, it surprised me how incredibly heavy this was because of the amount of discs and obviously the heavy Steelbooks that are in it. Man, it is one solid and heavy set. Now, I did dive into and test all of the films in this box set for their rough average bitrate. And I can tell you all 5 films in this box set had a shockingly high, extremely strong, and healthy 78 to 106 megabits per second range. I was shocked at how high they are. The weakest, as I said, is the first film in this box set. The other films in this box set, the other 4 that were not released previously, have the highest rough average bit rates out of all of them in this box set. The first one is the one that ranged at that 78. From then on, all of the rest of them have shockingly high rough average bit rates, right around that 100 to 106. Wow, amazing job, Lionsgate. And it lends to why there is so much more depth and detail in that image and why it is so stable compared to that previous Blu Ray release. The implementation they did with that Dolby Vision, the colors, just shine through brilliantly. This is the ultimate way to view these films, and I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed watching them again. And in this quality, this truly is the ultimate collection to have of the Twilight Saga. And honestly, you'll never watch those Blu-rays after you see how good this looks. From beginning to end, every single one of the films in this looks absolutely brilliant. Now, getting to my review score for the Twilight Saga on 4K Ultra HD, this gets a stellar 9.5. It is a must-buy you need to buy and have in your collection. You will enjoy the massive upgrade that you will experience in visual quality, especially if you have a good Dolby Vision setup. Man, these are very impressive looking, and with Dolby Atmos, very impressive sounding 4K Ultra HD releases. You will enjoy this upgrade and think, man, it was worth every single penny you spent to own this set. And I can tell you, I loved the Steelbook collection. Maybe you aren't a fan of the artwork in this. I was. I thought the artwork on them was pretty cool because I do like the comic book style for them. But each person has a different opinion of what artwork they like or what artwork they don't like. And that's perfectly fine. For me, I loved the artwork on it. I thought it was very stylistic that fit the films and it looked really cool. Let me know if you've seen all the films in this series. If you're excited for this 4K Ultra HD set that's coming out, let me know what of these films are your favorite. Do you have one that's your favorite or do you love them all the same? Let me know in the comment section below how excited you are now that you've heard my full review and testing analysis on this box set. I will tell you the rough average bitrate did shock and surprise me. Lionsgate pulled out all the stops for this and provided the ultimate Twilight Saga to own on home video. This is one of those, it's going to be hard to ever beat. This is one of those you will watch year after year and say, man, I love the transfer and I loved the audio on these 4K releases. 9.5 is a stellar release and a must-buy, must-own 4K release. If you want to help to support this YouTube channel, you can always join my Collectors VIP Club. That's very important to the continued creation of all of these exclusive comparison reviews. I'm not sponsored or paid by anybody. The only way I can always continue to do this is through you, my viewers and subscribers' support, through my Collectors VIP Club and using those direct Amazon sale links right down below. As always, I want to say thank you to every one of my current VIP Club members and every one of you that has used those Amazon links and helped to support this channel. Every single one of you are extremely important and valuable to me. I do appreciate it and I enjoy creating these videos for you every single week. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. As always, I truly hope all of you have a blessed day, and I've always got something new, early, and exclusive coming out very soon.